case you don't
Can you
know, these are the authors of the amazing haikus, Derry Public Radio, and it only made sense that, like, you know, after you just slipped your way into this festival, that you come for the exclusive interview. So welcome. We've got CM Alexander and Josh Kahn with us. How are you guys?
We are awesome.
Living the dream.
How are you guys?
So great.
Yeah, we're doing really great.
Oh, it's been
As
an
you can see,
amazing
we
weekend.
have all our nudes with us here.
We also
Take that, nude.
Where did you find those? Did you call around, or it just happened to be close to you?
we went on their website and found out there was a distributor in Illinois. We live in the Quad Cities, so we're just on the Iowa side of the Mississippi. So just across the Mississippi on the Illinois side, they had it at a few grocery stores.
I would just say just across the Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's badass. I'm across the Mississippi for some nudes, yo.
So why don't we just start out by, for those people who are watching, I mean, a lot of people are now very familiar with Derry Public Radio, but why don't you just give us a little bit of the backstory? How did Derry Public Radio come to be?
We came to be because we didn't have a real strong community of other individuals that we could talk to about Stephen King and horror at length the way we really wanted to. And so we decided that we were just going to do that ourselves and do it in a book club style format so that we could draw other people in with us, hopefully, and continue to build this community where we can just gush on and on about horror to our heart's content without annoying our moms.
That's awesome. And you are, you had said that you were on the Iowa side, so you broadcast from Davenport, Iowa. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
It's a very nice place. I've actually, as we talked about on your podcast, I have been there before. And this is great. I mean, the fact that Norm and I were able to connect with you guys early on in the early days of promoting the festival, and we had such a great conversation with you. It's really nice to see that our declaration of friendship at the end of that session is very much the case. We're really happy to have you here.
You could so hear it. Like, I was not part of that, but like by the end of it, it was just like, can we just like be friends?
That was our first interview, was it?
That was our first interview. Yeah,
you guys were out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
On top of it, and then coming up with the haikus, you're like, bam! You guys are go-getters.
Can you talk about that? Like, whose idea? Who's doing it? We're in it to win it at this point, because like it was such an unexpected thing to come into the festival, and you would see the filmmakers' eyes light up, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to hear my haiku."
Can I just say, every time you guys mention us or read our haikus or the directors ask for them, my living room is silent while we're watching, and as soon as that happens, we're just screaming.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been so amazing for us, so thank you for all your graciousness.
Yeah, the fact that anybody cares about our haikus is great.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sia and I are like taking turns kind of writing them. Like, sometimes we're both writing them and being like, which one do you think's better? And then we send it out.
Goodness,
Oh, that's smart.
And it started because like after we talked to you guys and knew about this film festival, we knew we were going to be start to finish. We were going to be here the whole time, and we wanted to, make sure your hashtag Stephen King rules kept as high trending as we could make it trend. And we just wanted to be a part of it. And I don't like being a part of things passively, because I'm a narcissist.
We know that well.
You're in good company. You're in very good company.
And so I was just like, this is, it gave me a motivation to do something. Like, if I don't give myself a reason to hashtag, I'm going to forget to use Twitter, because most of our stuff's usually on Instagram. We rarely use Twitter. I've used Twitter more the past 3 days than I have the entire time we've had a Twitter.
Well, now you belong on there.
Yeah, now it's where we live. But I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and people who see it are gonna like it. And then you read the first one, and I was like, wait, what? Someone reading these?
That's awesome. It's become such a part of the festival.
It really has.
And you know what? Billy Hansen here's some pressure for you. Billy Hansen says, I've been waiting to hear the Survivor type haiku since this entire festival started.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
Yeah.
Go out with a bang.
It's crazy, the shorter ones, because we're watching it and like, oh, it's already over? Oh, God. All right.
I think it's one of the reasons why I think it's such an incredible addition to the festival is because it really speaks to just the homegrown creativity of the Dollar Baby deal, right? I mean, all of these great filmmakers are doing whatever they can to just, get their vision out, and to have you join in on the creativity of this and be such an integral part of it and really give a gift to each of those filmmakers who are doing kind of the same thing. It's just been such a spectacular way to celebrate.
Yeah. And then also,
so
too,
glad.
in the spirit of the tweet-along party, like, you can't top that shit.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me content.
We are so honored that everyone has been accepting these, so thank you guys.
Yeah.
Right on.
So one of the first questions that you asked us when we were on your show was to describe a little bit of your entry into Stephen King. And so we were kind of hoping that both of you could just, in as short or as long a description as you want, what was it that drew you into the Stephen King universe?
All right, turning the tables on us with our own questions. I see you.
So mine happened in 7th grade. So like every real huge Stephen King fan, I was a child. And even though the Goosebumps books had kind of scared me a few years earlier, for some reason, I was getting on a plane for my brother's wedding. I didn't bring anything to read, so I went to the airport gift shop and I picked up a book called Rose Matter, which was so over my head and not appropriate for my age. But it really struck a chord with me anyway. I loved it. It is one of my top Stephen King books. I have the ISBN numbers for the first edition tattooed on my body, and I've reread it over the years. I keep revisiting it. And that was my introduction, is like, what is happening in this story? Because it starts off this real, drama and this trial that this woman is going through that I think a lot of people can relate to and happens, unfortunately, so often in our society. And then it got way supernatural in a way that I wasn't prepared for because I didn't even know anything about Stephen King. So it was a really great surprise for me to suddenly have this book shift like that. And it opened my mind to how creative stories can be.
That's fantastic.
Norm, I think
That's a way better answer than mine.
Okay, well, what's your answer? And then we'll be the judge.
I didn't read my first Stephen King book until I was 18, that puts me in the old timers club as far as Stephen King fans, it sounds like. My girlfriend at the time was a big Stephen King reader, and she kept wanting to get me to read something. And I was like, fine, whatever you pick, I'll read. And she chose Needful Things. And I read that, and I was like, I didn't know books could do this. And so I was just like, yeah, now I read that, and immediately afterwards I read it, and then immediately afterwards I started my journey to the Dark Tower. Like when I went in, I went all in.
That's fantastic. What do we got going on over there, Leah?
No, you go ahead. Is there anything on the Twitter for these guys?
Just love. Everybody loves you. I don't know if you noticed, like, you can see Norm counting on his fingers.
So you know what's funny is, like, we're trying to bang out a haiku for you guys.
No.
But you know what? Here's
What?
what happened. I did 557.
No, you did 577.
I think I got it now. Hold on. You guys keep
this
talking.
is
I
on-
might have this.
It's only
You have
fair
no
if you're
idea.
a guest. It needs a bonus. I mean, James wrote the one that we tweeted out about you being there because James is a writer.
Although it was not nearly as good as any of
just a
yours,
reader.
but
Norm is just
No,
a
I get
reader.
it.
Okay,
The amount
here
of
you go.
times that I'm in the living room and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is every good line 6 syllables?
I don't know. I don't know if this makes it, Norm.
Okay, let me see. Let me see
Everyone,
it again.
let's forgive Norm. Let's put an end to his misery.
No, I
Everyone
want to
count on your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, one. Okay, wait, because okay, go ahead. This is even better.
No.
Okay.
here we go.
Podcast poet friends.
5.
545 blue chambray shirts. Oh,
8.
Boom.
That
7.
was 8.
That's
That was
7.
8.
That's 7.
5 of 5 blue
5, 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
545 blue chambray shirts.
Oh, 7. Great.
Haikus for days, yo. You really pulled it out.
Thank you.
I
That's amazing.
Well, we wrote a haiku for you guys too.
What? It's the haiku off.
Yeah.
Like haikus.
We're ready to lose.
We're calling this a high duel.
I do.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
What others may fear unites the mind in good cheer. Dollar babies here.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. We're probably killing our tech guys and
How
stop
fun.
banging
Yes.
the fucking
Oh, they're used to it, these guys.
So what do you guys do day jobs and stuff like? Because I know nothing about you except for being like spectacular on your podcast and your written art form that we've seen all weekend.
I am a school social worker and behavior analyst, so I work in the public schools helping individuals with behavioral and other different needs.
By day, I work at a hospital. I audit surgical cases for insurance. And by night, I am a comedian and burlesque show host.
Oh, right on.
Very nice.
So have you moved that into the kind of the online world since the plague has hit?
We've done a few online shows. We've also done a few improv comedy shows online for free, just for people. And it's been really fun. It is super hard. So I feel for what you guys are putting together.
When you don't hear anybody laughing back at your jokes and skits, right? You're like, wow,
Oh, yeah,
this is
that's
a
it.
tough crowd.
I laugh at myself plenty. You just listen to our podcast. Listen to our podcast and you will hear me laugh at myself plenty.
I have a limiter just for him.
That's
on
true.
the software.
That's why you and Norm get along. He always says something and gives it
Right.
away.
I am my own biggest fan.
Yeah.
Amen.
We still have tons of time.
Yeah, well, I've
so
got
if
some
you
more
just wanna
questions.
keep
I got some more.
going.
I got some more questions that I'm totally stealing from your podcast. So the second question that you asked us
It's like the one
was about
Ouroboros.
our Stephen King moment. And for those of you who may not know, what we're talking about with a Stephen King moment is like one very significant thing in one of Stephen King's books or movies or something that either you just absolutely love and it's the thing that you think about all the time, or you absolutely despise and it's freaked the hell out of you, or something like that. We're very curious to know what those moments are for the two of you.
The Stephen King moment thing came from something that I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that happened to me. I was reading, it was my first read through 1408, and I was in my mid-20s, and it was late at night, and I read that, and just the description of the door to his hotel room scared me so badly. And at this time, I had read tons of Stephen King, but it scared me so badly that I slept with my light on for the rest of the night. I had to have a nightlight that night. So that for me was a Stephen King moment, because in my head I'm thinking, well, it's just a door. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, I think in the first episode of our show we went around and talked about that because and that's why we ask all of our guests. That's one of the first questions we always ask, because everybody's is so different. Mine is from Needful Things. It was the Nettie Cobb Wilma Jerzyk street fight where they're just it's spoilers ahead, in the middle of a Sunday afternoon, these two women meet on a street corner and just slash each other's guts out, bury knives into each other's stomachs, and like it was just an obscene amount of violence. And when you step back and look at the full picture and see what that looked like to anybody on the outside, it just shook me to my core.
Yeah, that was a very brutal scene for sure. Absolutely. What do you got over there?
I have a question.
Okay.
I noticed in your Instagram posts there was another fella at some points. Is there more than just the two of you that host, or who was that guy?
Yep.
Who was that guy?
That is our third and amazing co-host, Benjamin Graham. He works a much different shift than we do, so he couldn't be here with us, which he's very regretful for, but he is amazing. He's also incredibly funny. I'm really jealous because Josh and Ben are comedians. I'm like, okay, I'm a social worker. I'm not funny. I'm mostly just sad. So I try to
you got the
like, up my
voice.
Yeah, you got the velvety voice for sure.
Voice. That's all
That's
of
what I
our
was like-
comments are like, huh.
It makes sense that's your profession though, because you have to have a kind of like a calming, soothing kind of voice, right? Like I was thinking, I'm like for oh dude, I can't believe I'm forgetting your name. Dude, what is your name?
Josh.
Sorry.
One?
I'm like, why am I
talking to me?
Like, Josh, I was thinking.
The
I was
pointing
like,
does't help.
I was trying to think. You should be wearing a shirt with your name on it.
Oh my God!
I have a shirt that says my name is Josh Kahn on it. Yeah.
Hey, see, I was just thinking. I'm like, for you, are there instances when your two careers kind of intersect? Because I mean, like burlesque, surgical audit. There's got to be something in there.
Those two worlds don't really cross a lot. But the podcast world has crossed over into the burlesque world. We did a Stephen King burlesque show, not last Halloween, but the Halloween before.
Very smart.
And yeah, so all the routines were inspired by Stephen King books, and it was wild. I got my legs broken by Annie Wilkes on stage. It was wonderful.
Amazing.
That is awesome. Yeah. What a great idea.
I'll send you guys videos.
Yes.
Oh yeah, please do.
I'd love to see that.
I run a Comic-Con here called Northern FanCon, and the most successful after-hours event we ever did, because we have the con, then I'll get all the celebrities together and we'll bring them to an event, right? And so the most successful night that we ever had with the After Dark series is what we call it, was a nerd-lesque or like nerd-inspired burlesque, and it was so good. There was like Game of Thrones, there was like Star Wars where there was a guy that was C-3PO and a girl was R2-D2, and it was crazy. And it's funny because that year we had Brett Dalton as one of the guests. He was one of the leads for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he came up to me the next day. And he was like, dude, he's like, I got to tell you, that party last night, he's like, I ain't never seen any shit like that before. He's like, and I've been at parties in like Berlin, New York, like all over the world. And he's like, that was some crazy, crazy shit.
That's not a lie about our after parties, though. Like, there's always something to, what happens at FanCon stays at FanCon after hours kind of shit. And
well, I'm glad you're letting us know so that CM and I know what we're in for when you invite us.
Oh,
you came to this charge
will
for
invite you for sure.
FanCon. You 100%.
If you ever need an MC for anything, that's my jam. So I got you.
Dude, we invite you. We invite you, and the good folks at Nude invite you.
Which is very appropriate for the burlesque show. So they'll probably sponsor too.
That's right. That is a great burlesque sponsor. Jeez, you better talk to these guys.
Yeah, I'm going to get on the phone right after this.
I want to share a little bit of love. This is from McFarlane Girl on Twitter. She says, seriously, if haikus aren't part of the Stephen King Rules Dollar Baby Film Festival in the future, it just won't be the same. Derry Public, thank you for all of the fun. So nice.
That's amazing.
And then
Thank
we
you.
have a question from Danny Blackfire on Twitter. How long have you guys been friends for? I said before that I love the chemistry and camaraderie between you three.
Oh, that's amazing. So the reason we all actually got together in the first place is our third co-host, Ben, is the one who brought this to me. Ben and I went to college together, so I've known him for more years than I want to admit on live stream. And we've always talked Stephen King, and he came to me and he was like, I want to do a podcast, because I'd guested on a few podcasts for a little bit, and he was just like, you did a great job. I think it'd be great. We should do a Stephen King podcast. And I was like, well, if we're going to do a Stephen King podcast, I have to introduce you to CM Alexander, because I never met anybody who has more knowledge of Stephen King or more first editions. She's got just to our right off camera is just a shelf full of signed and collector's editions and stuff.
Wow.
And I also have my battered, my first copy I ever read of The Gunslinger that's falling apart. They're both very special.
Yeah. And CM, we'd known each other for 6 years beforehand. We were both cast in an indie movie together. The two of the main characters were myself and her husband, studio engineer Devin Alexander. And so we met through that, and just Devin and I became really good friends. So I was over at their house constantly, and then CM and I became good friends. And now that Derry's together, we have this whole new chemistry with the three of us.
Awesome. And people also want to know where they can get one of your t-shirts from. So if you want to plug that.
Yeah. It's, what is it? Etsy/shop/Derry Public Radio. We have variant logos. We have this logo. We also have we do a Merry Derry Christmas special every year. We do a Halloween episode. We do a March Madness episode that we just finished doing that all have their own logos. And then we have the I Heart Stephen King shirt, but it's a balloon instead of a heart. And my other shirt is chambray shirt.
That's awesome.
So we got plenty of cool stuff over there, coffee mugs, all that cool stuff. So yeah, swing by our shop and check it out.
And we have our Bloody Mike enamel pins on our Patreon as one of our perks on our tiers.
Well, I'm sure you probably already did it, but like I have pudding for a brain after running on this for the last couple of weeks. If you make one tweet with all your links, we'll pump it out back there for you.
They definitely did the Etsy link earlier because I've already actually perused the shop and I've got my eye on one of those nice zip up gray hoodies. I think
they're so amazing.
It's athletic, so it's very lightweight and well made.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll be doing that as soon as we finish up today, actually.
Yeah,
we used to read. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we used to with our Patreon, patreon.com/Derry Public Radio. We used to give T-shirts as one of the tiers, and until we opened the shop, because like we were like, what can we give to people, and it was just like so overwhelming to keep control of all that merch that we were like, we need to make this something else.
Right on.
So we opened up the store.
Well, you should. Any way to monetize? Like, come on.
Right?
Mama needs a new purse.
I guess we should probably take a little lesson from this.
Totally.
Right?
Do you know what? Like, how cool is it, though, that even somebody out there that is not wearing one of the Derry Public Radio shirts will be wearing something on their skin as a result of your haikus this weekend.
That's
right?
wild.
Oh my God. Shout out to Jamie. He's crazy, man.
Right? Like, that's it.
In the best possible way.
Oh, yeah. No, Jamie is awesome.
Yeah.
And he has said that he's going to get his regardless of whether King retweets.
Go retweet.
But
anyway.
Steven,
Man, I was so happy he liked it.
A lot of pressure.
We liked it a lot.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead, Leah. Sorry.
I just really want to share this because this is the epitome of what this conversation is right now. It comes to us from Dr. Brad, the amateur brain surgeon on Twitter.
Dr. Brad.
No questions, but I love so much watching horror nerds nerd out and have fun. This has been an amazing weekend, and thanks to all of you for being the awesome people you are. And that's directed it to our group and your group, so that's a great comment.
Oh, that is great.
That is a great
That's
comment.
awesome.
I love
Thanks,
the horror
Dr.
fam.
Brad.
Thanks, Dr. Brad.
Hi, everybody.
So I have another question for the both of you. Given that it is Dollar Baby, the Dollar Baby deal that we're celebrating, if each of you could make your own Dollar Baby, which story would you choose?
It's funny, we both have the same feature and short, the same book and short story we would both make.
Oh, really? Okay, well, tell us.
Tell them the feature?
Go for it.
Oh, if we could do a feature off a book, we would make a film adaptation of Rose Matter.
It needs to be done.
Of course.
It rocked my world when I read it, and it deserves an amazing adaptation.
100%.
And then the short story we would do, if we could adapt that, would be the breathing method from different seasons.
And that kind of ties into our Patreon, because when we read the breathing method and learned about the club, we were just blown away at all of the opportunities and possibilities within that story of what might be going on in that location, and just wanted more of that world. So I'd be really excited to do something with that.
Yeah, we named our Patreon show, we named it The Club, because there's just the breathing method and the man who would not shake hands that exist in that world, but that world is has so much potential. So we use that to frame the fact that we are telling once a month, we're telling an exceptional story of some kind. So like we have different things on that. Like we're doing an actual play role playing game for our monthly episode right now, and it's fantastic.
That would make an amazing series, like a streaming series or a television series, you know, that centers on that club, and then you can tell all of these various stories that come out of that. I think that would be really amazing.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
Yeah. We had a theory we talked about that the club doesn't actually exist, but the club is Stephen King's mind, because there's the eternal butler Stevens, and his job is to keep all of the stories that are told. So we tweeted out to Stephen King, and we were like, here's our theory, and he didn't get back to us. So I think we're onto something.
But he might be listening right now.
That's right.
Yeah. We're on to you.
Have you guys ever tried, like, obviously, maybe, I don't know, maybe not, but have you ever tried to reach out to him to see if he'd be on your show?
Oh, God, no. We're too unimportant.
Yeah.
I feel like
it would be an insult.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you should just Hail Mary it. Be like, listen, haikus, like.
You might know us from.
You want one?
Let's just start email. Listen, haikus.
Right. If he retweets about our haikus, I'm sending that message to do something.
That's right.
But for right now, we're very content with deep diving into his books.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Wrath of Khan that says a similar thing, the club, but featuring dollar babies, which I thought would be a really interesting way to tie that all together.
That is cool.
For sure. That would be cool.
Hey, I got a question for you again. Over here.
First time caller, long time
you with the hands.
So how many of the folks that have screened at the festival this weekend have you guys interviewed?
Just you guys.
No way. So there's a lot of meat here for you.
There's fodder for years now.
We're so excited. We interviewed Julia Marchesi, who is doing the I Know What You Need, and she's in production for that right now. We interviewed her.
Our very first Dollar Baby interview was with Ian Klink, and he did The Man Who Would Not Shake Hands. And he didn't know about this festival in time, but it was a really fun video to watch, and we're working with him to make a Derry Public Radio sort of special promo video. In the future
nice.
too.
That's awesome.
Chock full of Stephen King Easter eggs.
Right on.
I don't want to say it out loud, and I know I've talked about it like in third person, but I am going to reach out to you guys for a secret project that like we should make as a gift for just our filmmakers. Sorry, everybody watching at home.
We would love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until you find out what it is.
Well, that's our problem. We just say yes.
Yeah.
To everything.
That is
no
our
matter what.
problem too.
So we only
by
have
the
a
way,
couple minutes. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we really loved your guys, the doctor's case.
Yeah.
It was
Oh my
amazing.
God, it was so
Oh,
good.
thank you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
It was also high pressure haiku because it's you guys, and we loved it so much. So I hope you guys liked
What
it.
the fuck is this? Like,
All right. You know what? I'm going to put out a little challenge right here to Jamie now. So if Jamie actually goes through with getting his haiku tattooed on his body and shows us a picture, I will get mine tattooed on mine.
God.
Wow. This is 2 tattoos you guys have got going.
So
I
Jamie,
love
challenge
it.
on.
Haiku tattoo.
Yeah. We're gonna start a whole new subreddit.
Right? That's awesome.
Well, we only have like a minute left. Both of you are so fantastic. Thank you for deciding to do this, get on this crazy train unofficially with us. We had to have you as our last guest of the weekend. Really quickly in 10 seconds, what's next for you guys?
We just completed a Patreon selection series. We ran a special and let our listeners choose the next books that we're doing. So we just finished Mr. Mercedes, and the next books on the docket are Thinner, Dead Zone, Cell, Dreamcatcher, and finally, after much demand, we are doing It.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, if you guys aren't already following Derry Public Radio, what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for coming, you guys.
Yeah, it was
Much
really
love,
good.
Thank you
guys.
so much for having us. Yes, take it easy.
Cheers.
We look forward to those haikus.
Yep.
Not lokus like mine.
It was great.
Well, I'm sad that we have to end that conversation.